It's time for another podcast by George. Straight talk, straight from the heartland, that'll have you saying, by George, I think he's got it. Now, here's George.
Hello, hi, how are you? And welcome back to another podcast by George. We've got a special guest revisiting the podcast. It's our old buddy, our old pal, our hockey guy, Chad Costello, checking in from Germany. And of course, normally at this time of year, we'd be talking about hockey and the postseason and his future and, you know, all things hockey, because his season's over with. But that's not what everybody's thinking about right now, just about anywhere. It's this coronavirus thing, and it's affecting him out there in Germany and here in the United States as well. I mean, it's a big deal, and it's getting bigger all the time. I'm telling everybody, now I'm not a big predictor, and I don't like to make predictions, mostly because I don't like to be wrong. But I think this is going to get bad, folks. I think we're in for something here. People better get prepared. They better get ready. We need field hospitals in this country. They need to be constructed. If we don't need them, they can take them down, but they better get with the program. They better get those testing kits. They're available. They're out there. I mean, you can get them on Amazon from South Korea, I think. We need to get testing kits, and they need a UBI, and they need it this week. And the reason is the economic impact of this coronavirus is going to be massive. These businesses, and you got to remember, we're basically a service economy. The thing Americans do really well is we eat and we play. And our economy is kind of based around that. Well, those things are shut down. Everybody says, "Oh yeah, shut down." Well, we're not talking about a 10% market decline in this industry, in these industries. We're not talking about a bad summer. We're talking about going from 100% capacity a week or two ago to zero for these businesses, and most importantly, for the people that work in these businesses, the people that are in what they call a gig economy. Some of these people have 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet. They don't have $500 between them and the end of the world. They need the money if you want to get on a touchy-feely personal basis, and the economy needs that juice to keep running. I really think that that's where we're headed. And of course, it's coming our way like everything from, you know, music to immigration to the arts to sports. It's coming to us from around the world. We're in a global community, and we're starting to feel the impact. It's coming this way, and it's already being felt in Europe in a big way. Italy and Spain gets a lot of the news, but also in Germany. And that brings us to our guest today, our old buddy, our old pal, Chad Costello. And Chad's at home now. And Chad, would you normally be home right now, or would you normally be getting ready to come back, or what's your status?
Yeah, we like you said, everything is canceled. Our season is canceled. But yeah, normally we kind of be in playoff mode now. This kind of hit us pretty fast, and we went from seeing who was in the playoffs to canceling in like a matter of 2 days. So it was pretty crazy. But we had a flight scheduled for Friday, and we had to cancel it. We postponed it. We're trying to get back. We're planning on maybe giving this thing 3-4 weeks and see where we are. We could have flown back, but we just kind of, as a family, we thought that we just thought it was best. You know, we're trying to listen to what we're told, you know, and we think that if everyone does what they're told, it will help this virus. And like I said, I think we could have gotten home and maybe self-isolated once we got there. But, you know, I have grandparents. I have my mom and dad, Ashley's mom and dad. We're going to want to see them, and they're going to want to see our kids. And we just felt just to stay away from that situation for now. We're going to stay put. And, you know, I think as humans right now, we just kind of got to do what we're told and trust what we hear. And they said, don't travel unless you have to. And we don't really have to. So we're just going to kind of sit tight and wait for a little bit.
Well, there's a passel of you, too. I call it the Costello clan. You're a group of 6 now, right? I mean,
oh, yeah. And a dog.
And a dog. So let me read it. I want to read this now. This is the latest that I have anyway. This is out of the Berlin Spectator, and this was just a few hours ago. But it says, today as the number of coronavirus cases in Germany exceeded 10,000 in the early afternoon, several strict measures will be implemented. For instance, tourists are not allowed to enter some parts of Germany anymore. Vacationers who are already there, including on some of the vacation islands, are forced to leave today And touristic day trips are not allowed either. Now, in Berlin, all shops other than supermarkets, convenience stores, drugstores, and pharmacies are not allowed to open until further notice. Now, beverage stores, interestingly, are exempt from the rules. So are delivery services, weekly markets, shops for hearing aids, opticians, gas stations, banks, post offices, laundromats, pet food stores, and funeral homes. Now, Germany was criticized because they were a little slow to react to this, but they're getting on it. Yesterday, the city of Berlin announced the establishment of a hospital exclusively for patients suffering from respiratory diseases. The clinic will be set up in cooperation with Germany's armed forces at the Berlin Fairgrounds. And in all parts of Germany, discussions about using hotels and other establishments as hospital extensions are taking place. They need to do that in this country, too. If you think about it, all these hotels and motels, all these schools, they could be used as this field hospital concept that we're talking about. I've heard this described as a tsunami that's coming. The good news is you don't get any warning or very little with a tsunami. The good news is we got a little bit of warning with this. Chad, a lot of people, of course, just being Americans, we barely can find Germany on a map. Where are you at in Germany, and what's your community like?
We're in the North Rhine, which is it's getting hit the hardest with the corona. It's the most populated spot. It's got some of the biggest cities. And like you said, me and Ashley and my wife, we talked about it the same way. We call it a wave. It's like just a wave that out of nowhere just comes and hits you hard. And we feel Germany may be 2 weeks ahead of the United States as far as we're kind of right in the wave right now. We're getting hit hard right now, and we think if we traveled home, we might get hit with another wave of it. And I think we're better off just facing the music here, where we're safe, no traveling, nothing like that. But it's funny you brought that up, that Germany was getting kind of slammed on for not reacting fast enough, and I think the United States is doing a great job from where I'm sitting. Like I said, the numbers here in Germany are huge, compared to the population size. So when you see that they're just now shutting things down today, and the United States has already done that, I think that hopefully, I'm praying that hopefully that will save some lives and kind of skew the numbers in the lower than what we are here.
Well, I'll tell you what'll scare the bejabbers out of you. And you mentioned Germany, Italy, Spain. They're saying that, I think you're right. We're about 2 weeks behind you guys. In Italy, they're saying, and Italy's had a massive impact. It's about 9 days, and they're smaller countries, smaller populations, but they're saying the rate of infection and the rate of fatalities, my God, may be about the same. That's the way it's looking right now. And if that's the case, well, I don't want to talk about it too much, but a week or 10 days from now, this could be the biggest story of our lifetimes. Well, I don't want to spend all the interview talking about the coronavirus. I want to talk a little bit about sports and hockey. One thing that's interesting with this COVID-19 coronavirus thing that gets me all the time, they're always trying to make you understand the impact of it by referencing celebrities and athletes that have it. And it's kind of like, if this NBA player can have the virus, you can too. That strikes me as odd. I got to thinking about that while I was waiting for you to come online. Chad, every single part of your game, every nuance of your hockey game is better than mine by about tenfold. But you know what? When it comes to this damn virus, we're about equal. I mean, I don't think you're. Do they reference athletes and celebrities like that in Germany about who's got it over there and who doesn't?
No, I think that the way that they, maybe it's because there's not as many celebrities, or maybe because they all moved to LA or something from here, but they don't really treat their celebrities or athletes that way. They don't really hold them to a higher standard. So it's all about the numbers here. It's like you said, the numbers are pretty wicked, and it's just gotten to a point where I think we all just have to, I'm no scientist or anything, but we all just have to do what we're told, and listen and learn and make the best decision for your family. And hopefully everybody does that and slowly let someone smarter than us figure this thing out,
So you're self-quarantined in place. You got the kids home, they're out of school, daycare, whatever. Yep. Everybody's right there, and you're gonna write it out and hopefully hopefully we'll see some mitigation in this. It'll start to subside in a few weeks or whatever. I don't know about coming back in 2 weeks. I'd like to see you again, but I don't know if that's going to happen. You might be there for a while.
Yeah.
And, go ahead.
Oh, we're kind of shooting for a month, and we're going to give it 30 days and see exactly how everything plays out. I tell you what, I hope those scientists or whoever's working on the cure for this thing hurries up, because self-quarantine with these kids, it's getting tough. They need to open those darn schools back up,
Yeah.
But we're trying to not scare anybody in our family. We're just we played baseball today, we played catch. We're just, everything we do is just us, and then our neighborhood, we have a lot of kids, and it's kind of sad everyone's playing all by themselves, but we spend most of the time inside or outside on walks all alone. But it's not miserable, but we're staying safe, that's for sure.
Well, let's talk a little bit about hockey, and maybe we can segue, as we used to say in radio when we were spinning records, segue from coronavirus to hockey this way. The league that you play in, the DEL, made worldwide news, really. I think it was the first professional league to say, no, we're not postponing. No, we're not going to play without crowds. We're done. It's over. See you next season.
Mm-hmm.
What was your reaction and your teammates' reaction when you heard that?
Well, we didn't have the year we wanted, so our decision was pretty easy. Our season was already over, but it's really sad. It really is. A lot of players, a lot of people, a lot of workers, coaches. You think of the whole league, not just the players, just the fans. I mean, everything. There's a lot of people that put a lot of effort in. In the summertime to put the teams together, the training, everything to try to win a championship or have a better season than they did last, and then it just kind of ends like that. It's pretty sad. Obviously, because I'm a player, I feel for the players a lot. There's financially, there's a lot of bonus money and a lot of families that aren't getting money that they were planning on, and besides the financial part, just not having a champion and being able to compete, it's just really, really weird. But I don't think playing without fans was much of an option in the minors. They need ticket sales, they need the TV there, they need to bring in that money. And if you're not, in my opinion, maybe the NHL or MLB or some of these bigger leagues, maybe they can handle it. But I don't think that some of these leagues can handle paying the players and all the bills, the insurance for the player, paying all these bills to play, and not to have the ticket sales. It's just I think it'd be too hard. I don't know.
Well, and you and I have spent our entire lives around hockey, and I was on the business side of it on the board of a hockey team here for many years. You and I both know that a lot of these teams depend upon that postseason for the money. I mean, that's where that's the make it or break it part of the hockey season. Is everybody going to get by? The team's going to continue on? The players going to get paid? Is that going to happen?
Yeah, I think so. I think the contracts for this year are safe for the players. I think they're going to get paid. No question, teams are going to get hurt. It's I'll just use one team for example. I know that Berlin, their stadium holds 20,000, and I think their average attendance is for the playoffs, it's near capacity. It's 17,000 fans. So and then you take $25 a ticket, and that's what they're losing every single time that they don't play. And they had a good team. I would imagine they would have had 10, 12 home games in the playoffs. I mean, that's millions and millions of dollars. And I'm sure it hurts, but, as seeing loved ones get sick and even worse, it's just too important, and we'll have to figure out the money side of things later, I guess. And it hurt everybody. There's players that a lot of their contracts, there's bonuses for making the playoffs, and how many playoff games did you play? And everybody's getting financially hurt. But like you said in the beginning of your show, that it's just something that every country and every human really is just going to have to get used to and be ready to go when this thing ends. And hopefully we can kind of come together and beat this.
And that's really what it's all about. I've already been criticized for supporting the UBI concept because I've got some people saying, well, that guy doesn't deserve it. This guy shouldn't get it. This person needs it. The hell with all of that. Sort that out later. Honest to God, let's get by this thing. It's a matter of math, and that's what you're talking about, and that's what the coronavirus is all about. And talking about math, your hockey season, I mean, I'm just amazed. I follow as well as I can online and that type of thing. Chad, I mean, I don't want to, you're getting to be an older player. My God, you were bouncing around the top of the DEL scoring leaders all season. Now, for folks that don't realize this, we're talking an elite level of hockey, folks. It's not the NHL, but DEL players go straight to the NHL and vice versa. I mean, this is really elite level hockey. How the hell do you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was I finished second in scoring, and I should have gotten first. I messed that up, but it's actually nice. I'm getting kind of old, so it's any type of feel or motivation that you can get at my age. It's great, So like, of course, I was upset not winning the scoring title, but literally 2 hours later, I was like, well, you know what? I have to come back and get that done. I don't know exactly how I do it. I train pretty hard in the summer and take care of myself. And as you get older, you get a little slower, but you also, every year that you get it done, you get a little more confident and you believe in yourself, and you just kind of ride that until you don't do well again, I guess. So
I mean, it's experience, and I know you've been on here before and you've talked about your teammates and the help that they provide. But honest to God, I mean, this is scientific evidence that we're talking about here. Chad, I think if I centered your line, I think you would be at the top of the scoring board. I don't know how the hell you do. I mean, that is an amazing thing. The folks there at Crefeld, they had to be pleased. I mean, they wanted to make the playoffs, obviously, but your piece of the puzzle, they got to be happy with.
Yeah, I hope so. I think that about a month ago we knew we weren't going to make the playoffs, and I was proud of myself and our team. We just kept fighting and trying to put on a good show, and I thought we played some of our best hockey, actually. And to go back to what you said, I think me and you would make a good line, George. I think that you bring some speed to the outside there, and yeah. I'll talk to our coach. Maybe there's a spot, but
I've got some intangibles, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I'll tell him the experience this guy brings is incredible.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see about the physical testing. We'll have to get that waived, and then we'll get you on the ice. We'll get you on the ice. But no, my line mates are awesome this year and last year and all the years. I think as a player, you just try to put yourself in the best situation you can. And luckily, maybe the last 4 or 5 years, I've been with great players and it's worked out.
Well, of course, for people that don't know, and I'm wearing the T-shirt, Chad went over there from the Allen Americans down in Texas, and he played in the pro leagues here in the United States for many years and set scoring records and was MVP and won the playoffs down there several years with Allen. What do you hear from those folks? Anything recently?
Yeah, I kept up with them all the time, and they had a good season going this year. I thought that they had a chance to win the championship again, and their season is done, so it's frustrating for them, I'm sure. But they had a good team. I think maybe when I left, they lost a lot of players, and I think they ended up in last place, and then they kind of rebuild. And last year they made the playoffs but lost in the first round, and then this year I think they were either first or second in the whole league. So they really turned things around, and like I said, I think they got the best coach in hockey. So it's just a matter of time with Martinson there, but. Their season's over too, so it's pretty brutal to not have a championship in that league and in all the leagues. That anytime that you play most of the season and there's not a champion, it's just kind of weird.
Okay, so for you then, are you looking for a new deal next season? Is this something? Have you got to do this every year, or are you going to be there again, or do you know, or is that just jump ball?
Yeah, my contract is up. I'm a free agent, so normally this time of year it's pretty crazy, but I think everyone's just trying to survive this coronavirus, and we'll see what teams or what jobs are available. I would say here in the next couple of weeks, things will pick up. But right now, it's all about staying healthy and staying safe and staying virus free. And I think the league will kind of move on here and try to start looking forward to next year here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, good luck as always. We'll continue to follow you online. I hope to see you back here stateside, like you say, maybe in a month or so. Let's get this behind us and take care of the family. I think you've got your priorities right. You know what's most important. Before we wrap up here today, does one of those kids want a little FaceTime? Or you want to?
Oh, I'm sure. I got a daughter that would just love to see herself. Well, Kane's right here. Kane, do you want to come say hi? Oh, he's eating. He's eating.
All right.
Yeah. I'll see Avery. Avery. Come here. Oh, that's
all right.
They're getting into trouble.
That's okay. I get it.
Next time.
Anything in closing here? Now I'll give you the last word. We got to close up shop here for today. We're about at our time limit. I hold these things around half an hour usually, so we're about there.
Yeah. No, it's great to be back on here, and like you said, we'll be in the United States hopefully here in a month. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter. We'll see, but. We're going to spend a lot of time in Iowa there, so hopefully we'll get on the ice together, and this summer will be great.
Well, there you go. Coronavirus and hockey on the same podcast. Who'd have thunk it? But it sounds like Chad's doing what we're all doing, or should be doing anyway. He's going to self-quarantine himself and his family there, take care of business, and hope to get this behind us. Germany is doing what they can at this point. They seem to have a pretty good program, and the United States is getting there. And it sounds like the coronavirus is getting here also. So stand by. We'll have another episode here for you very shortly because I'm shut in. I got nothing to do. I can do some podcasts, so that's what we're going to be doing.
That's great.
All right, Chad. All the best.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks to everybody for checking us out on Facebook and YouTube and Spotify. And a lot of people listen to us on iTunes, and that's a good place to get podcasts by George. But make sure that you like us, that you follow us, that you share it so that other people can get it and so that we get more people on board with Podcast by George. That's going to do it. That's all there is, and there ain't no more, as I say. That's another podcast by George.